Hi, today we are looking at the fourth ongoing title in the From the Ashes era, X-Force Issue 1, written by Geoffrey Thorne and drawn by Marcus Toll. Full spoilers ahead, so be forewarned. The book chose an interesting premise to start um, with Forge upgrading himself to an Omega mutant. I did not know or think that was possible. I'm also not sure if Forge accessed his mystic ability. It is often forgotten that he is a shaman too, to create the analog that could identify world-breaking events. It would have been useful while he was on Krakoa. Hi, future Tyler here. Forge named the project Phase 1, implying that it is just a beginning, and given that he explicitly shown a non-furry Hank, that was something Forge started a long time ago. Perhaps he did not have time to get to it during his time on Krakoa. And there's also the shot of Alpha Flight. Definitely shows something that could be interpreted as mystical and perhaps even a shot of the adversary. Yeah, I mean, it cannot be a coincidence that the simulation, while inaccurate as Cyclops and Nightcrawler were not on the Outback team when they fought the Brood, I mean, that occurred after the fall of the mutants, which involve Forge and the adversary. Yep. Sage reading of Forge, which I assume was after his upgrade, referring to oppositional variables, also seems to imply some mystical involvement. Now, the analog. Was that intentionally created, or did it just happen to appear when Forge was upgrading himself to an Omega mutant? Or for that matter, is Forge permanently upgraded to an Omega level mutant, or did he push himself towards Omega in order to create the analog? Now that you mention it, it could be read that he temporarily pushed himself towards an Omega just to create the analog, and that it wasn't a permanent upgrade. Yep. Although there is that shot of Forge with like blue circles radiating from his eyes during the fight with the sludge monsters, that suggests maybe the analog is an extension of him as an Omega. He did say his powers are reactive in the beginning of this issue. Perhaps this is Forge overcoming the reactive part of his power and becoming proactive. He now knows of a problem before it becomes a problem and solves it somehow. I mean, that would be pretty interesting. Um, I also like that Thorne ditched the gym bro aspect of Forge, and that he's back to what I think a hyper focus Forge would sound like. I like the voice given to him in this issue. I agree. What about Sage? The monologue is from her point of view. Okay, Sage is the one that kind of makes me go, huh? What happened to her? I did not think losing Krakoa would affect her so badly, but her voice in the monologue felt right. She felt that she had failed Krakoa, and by extension, all mutants is how I'm reading it. It did come a little out of the from the left field, but we got past that pretty quickly. Um, I rolled my eyes a little when pseudonym came up. Why do we need to make something like that? And then a page later, Forge landing after jumping off the plane with a whoop sound effect, which sounds like a soft rush of air, and I kind of like it. I mean, also there are two telekinetics on the team, right? I mean, Betsy and Rachel. So do we need another made up element just so they can fall from a plane without any assistance? Um, Regarding the couple, on one hand, I like that Betsy is the stuffy Brit, while Rachel is the carefree and reckless one. Um, on the other hand, I feel like Rachel is significantly depowered here. She needed a boost from Betsy for some reason. Apart from that scene, it did not appear that Rachel has powered down much. She did help surge in place after she burst out of the building and blew a hole in Sludge Kaiju as well. So while Thorne did not specifically mention it, it is a mutant circuit. Um, that's true. Okay, you kind of sold it to me. Well, technically you are me, so the slush thing got linked back to Mr. Sinister. We can't get away from them, can we? I mean, apparently not. I hope this is it. I'm a little bit worn out of Sinisters, and really, how can you beat four Sinisters and a Dominion? Okay, on to Tank, who looks like a typical big strong guy, and people will naturally think that is Colossus. He even executed a fastball special as maneuver one here, throwing Deadpool into the mouth of the sludge kaiju. But I think this is a misdirection. Tank reads more like an automaton to me, and given that we know one member of X-Force is going to die, I'm betting it's Tank. I mean, who will either be rebuilt or substituted by the real Colossus, or Thunderbird, or someone strong that is currently not on any teams. Maybe Lorna as the big green She-Hulk, given the Outback era vibe earlier in this issue. She is in X Factor, right? She appears in the preview, but she's not on the team. She is a potential replacement for Tank, assuming I'm right. Or maybe, being super strong is a secondary mutation. Maybe. When Forge paid Deadpool in Kuwaiti dinars, I thought he was like shortchanging him. But when I checked, 3 million KWD is actually over 9 million USD. So I mean, Deadpool was really paid well. Anyway, I thought it was a brilliant idea to use Wade's cancer against the sludge kaiju. Also, Wade's wisecracking here did not annoy me too much. I actually laughed out loud when he mentioned the trouble thing, and Rachel looked like she's like ready for it. I mean, you can't blame that girl, right? She was in the BDSM outfit for so long, and there has to be a reason for it. And the way Forge left Deadpool to finish the job, brutal. True. And in some ways, this book really reads like a continuation of Krakoa. It does not ignore or hand wave certain things away, but it also doesn't require new readers to be intimately familiar with what came before to enjoy this issue. And that's the way to do it. And Academy X kids getting some screen time is always great. I like that Serge is almost immediately distrustful with that look she gave Forge when he drafted her without even like asking her. I think it is more her looking back with a little bit of regret as she leaves Japan, but there were a few shots of her looking not too thrilled, even as she was like sipping tea in the bonus page. And the mystery person, is it the Doctor Not Who from
Perhaps.
3K? It had been a while, but I do not get tired of Marcus Toll drawing Betsy and Rachel. I like his art a lot. It has a fluidity to it, and if I have to really nitpick, the faces are sometimes too similar looking, but that is not a problem with a superheroes comics where a lot of the main characters are often easily distinguishable from one another with their costume, powers, etc. I agree. The first shot of Tessa looks very similar to Morgan Le Fay when he drew Excalibur. I do like the expressiveness of the characters, through Betsy resigned acceptance, Rachel's excitement, Forge annoyance, to Nori's maybe suspicion, reluctance to leave Japan. All good stuff. I also like that when Rachel and Betsy flies, they were slick and cool looking, but they picked up Forge and Sage in an ungainly manner. Yep. I also like the hazy overlay in terms of colors during the flashback scenes. Okay, the only question and most important one is, where is Amazing Baby? Probably roaming in the gardens of the Braddock estate and playing with Betsy's niece. That adult sounding little kid annoys me. Also, we are getting a lot of ex-women starring in books in this era, which I'm super thrilled. Yep. This team is overwhelmingly female, with Forge as the only male. We have 4 upcoming solo titles starring ex-women. Phoenix, well, that's not upcoming, that's already out. Storm, Psylocke, and Laura Kinney Wolverine. And we have 2 limited series, Dazzler and Mystic. And not to mention that NYX and Exceptional X-Men are also both made up of mostly ex-ladies. Let's hope all these books does well and get to like 50 issues or more. Agreed. Is Betsy still Captain Britain? I do not see why she's not. So in conclusion, I like this issue. Apart from the questionable Sage status to begin with, which I hope might have more to it. I enjoyed it. I'll give it a 3.75 out of 5 for me. Though part of me wonder if I did not score higher because I loved the beginning of the last iteration of X-Force, only to be sorely disappointed after a while. And maybe I'm a little bit gun shy here. Definitely so. I will bump this up to a 4 out of 5. The book has an interesting hook and some underlying mysteries that kept my attention. So pick up this issue. It is a good one and a must read. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Tyler out.